welcome to this video. My name is Devin, and I'm really excited to show you a few outfits that I put together using the color blue. This is a part of an idea that I've had for an ongoing series where I put together mini capsules from the clothes that I already own around some sort of a theme for the season. For every outfit that I put together, I will talk about why I put those pieces together, and I'll also talk about how I felt when I was wearing that outfit. And the last thing I want to say is that I am not a fashion expert. The reason that I want to make these videos is because I think a lot of fashion content is so highly professional that it is intimidating. And so my observation is that there's not too many people who are coming at fashion from just a really experimental point of view. And so I hope that's what I can contribute with these videos. I have put together a mini capsule of 13 pieces. They are all for this transitional early spring period, and they are all blue, different shades of blue, or charcoal and black are the neutrals that I chose to go with my blue pieces. I'm gonna briefly talk about each item that I picked, and then I will start talking through my outfits of the week. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you so much for watching. So when I am putting these videos together, I spend the most amount of time actually just picking out the items. I'll show you them briefly here. These were all chosen from my closet, and they were picked because they went together, and also because in many cases they are blue. The first three you've seen are a black vest, a long sleeve gray thermal top, and my Icelandic sweater that I actually got in Iceland in 2015. The other sweater I picked is a blue long sleeve merino top. It's very thin material, but it is still warm because it is wool. The aqua cardigan that you're seeing right there is probably the piece that inspired this whole video. It has the most perfect shade of blue, and then these shiny shell buttons down the front, which make it feel really special. You've seen a silk long sleeve top in a light green, light blue shade that I plan to put under my sweaters. And so this sweater here is probably the one I want to try it under. It's a gray cashmere, just really thin, lightweight sweater, perfect for spring. For the bottoms, I chose a mini skirt in a dark gray color. I have not really worn mini skirts before, but I want to see how I feel about it. Then I chose my baggiest, most comfortable jeans in a nice dark wash. This purple polka dot slip skirt is a wild card, but I don't know. I just think it's kind of fun. And last bottom I chose is, like, these jeans remind me of the 80s, but there's a really light blue wash, very kind of clear blue color. For an accessory, I picked a teal scarf. It clearly needs to be steamed, but it's a gorgeous shiny teal. For the bag, I have a small brown shoulder bag. This is my only dark brown bag, and I plan to wear it with everything because brown and blue just look so good together. There you have it, all 13 items that I picked for this capsule, and I'm really pleased with how it came out. I think they look great together, and hopefully I can create some awesome outfits. Monday was a really cold day, and so I pretty much had to wear my thickest wool sweater here, but I think it ended up looking really good with those dark wash jeans. So the whole outfit, you can read it from top to bottom as almost monochromatic. The element that stands out is that white on the sweater, and especially around the collar. And I think that bit of contrast is what makes this outfit interesting. If you can actually imagine it without the white on the sweater, maybe you'll see what I mean. I think it would have looked a lot flatter on me. I want to say a few words about the sweater. It is from Iceland, and so the wool is very coarse. It's so warm. You wouldn't believe how warm it is if you've never worn a sweater like this, but it really traps the heat close to the body without being sweaty. It's also very breathable. Yeah, it's just a very breathable and warm material, and I can't stress that enough. Another element I want to talk about is the zip on the sweater. If I could not zip it down, it would be much too tight on my neck. I think I would look like I was being strangled a little bit. So I actually really like the zip on this sweater because it allows me to adjust the neckline in that way. And it's just those little things that I think make this look good. Last thing I want to say is that gray thermal underlayer is absolutely necessary because if I wasn't wearing it, that wool would really be itchy on my skin, and I just don't like being uncomfortable at all. Luckily on Tuesday, the weather was much warmer, so I got to play with some of my thinner items in the capsule. And two things stand out to me from this outfit. The first is that it is tonal because I've got 3 very different shades of blue that make up the bulk of the outfit. And the second thing that stands out to me is the boxy silhouette of all of the items. So it's an oversized look from head to toe, and it's also all blue. And even though it has those kind of extreme elements to it, I think it all works, and I really actually enjoyed wearing this. The only thing I might change is to tuck in the shirt, because it looks kind of weird from the back. Let me know if you also think that, or if you think it looks okay, because I actually really couldn't tell if it was important enough for me to tuck it in. And I really didn't want to hide the front part of the shirt poking underneath the cardigan, just because I think that is a nice way to highlight the shirt without unbuttoning the cardigan, because I really want those shell buttons to shine. Now let's talk about Wednesday, and this is really the most formal look by far that I put together, and I think it's because of those tights. I really don't wear tights at all, but it felt necessary here for a couple of reasons. And the first reason is obviously that it's cold out, and so I don't want my bare legs showing. And the second reason is because the gray of the tights matches so well with the gray of the skirt and the shoes that they make it appear as though I'm one solid piece on the bottom. So it gives a color blocking effect with the lighter items on top and the darker items on the bottom. This outfit is also very neutral. It's almost all gray. Except for at the collar and the cuffs, I've got the silk light colored shirt poking through. And I like how this looks. I think it really brings attention to my face to have that collar showing. And even though it's all neutral, that color really pops out when you look at the outfit, in my opinion. And so I think it's a nice way to wear blue in a very subtle way. I also wanted to show in the cutaway how I originally styled this outfit, but everything about it felt too harsh, and so I decided to take away the boots, replace them with a small flat, and to put my hair down. And I think that made everything about it look less harsh and something that I enjoyed to wear. On Thursday, I went in the opposite direction as far as formality level, and I put together a really casual outfit. I started out with an all blue base, so that tight long sleeve on top with the blue jeans almost appears as though it's one item, like a jumpsuit that I'm wearing. But it was lacking contrast, and so I added in the black vest to give that contrast between the light and the dark pieces. And when I did that, I felt that it was missing something to tie the blues together. So essentially that black vest is breaking up the blue line from head to toe. So I wanted to add in this scarf to essentially be the bridge between the two blues in the outfit. And I think it looks pretty good. If I did it over again, I would change how I tied the scarf, and I would make sure that it laid in the center because I don't like how it's so widespread here. But overall, I'm really happy with how this looked, and I enjoyed wearing it on that day. Here it is up close. The texture is another thing that I liked about this. The texture of the scarf is kind of fuzzy, and then the texture of the vest is quilted. And I think it's just those little things that make it not feel boring. I will say this was probably one of the most daring as far as color goes, outfits that I put together, just because it does have so many different shades of blue here. So let me know if you like it, because I'm still a little on the fence with whether or not it works very well or not. Now, here's Friday, and Friday is my absolute favorite outfit from the entire week. And I think the reason I like it so much is because that blue cardigan really pops against all of the dark colored pieces that I'm wearing in the rest of the look. So there is a very light colored shirt underneath this, but you can only see that at the collar. And so there's really nothing else competing for your attention in this outfit except for the stunning blue color that I want to showcase so much. The other reason I love this is the skirt. I've really never enjoyed wearing mini skirts, so this is a new silhouette for me. And I think the reason I like this one as opposed to other skirts I've tried in the past is that it's not an A-line, so it doesn't flare out, and it's also not fitted, and so it actually falls very straight on me, and I like that about it, actually more than I expected to. The other thing I want to mention here is those tall boots come up to just under my knee, so I am exposing my knees and just the top of my thighs there. But I thought with tights, it looked like too stuffy. And so actually showing a little bit of skin there, I think lightens the mood and makes it feel a lot younger than it would if I was wearing tights. So that's why I chose not to wear them. And because all of the pieces I'm wearing here are wool and those tall boots are leather, I really never felt cold on the day that I wore this. And yeah, I would totally wear this again. It is my favorite look because of that popping blue color, which really is why I made this capsule to begin with. Next up, let's talk about Saturday. And this is admittedly not a very exciting outfit, but it is very realistic, and it's something that I have worn over and over again over the years. And the reason I think I come back to it is because it's very cohesive. So the gray sweater and the gray shoes are sandwiching the light colored pants. It's the sandwich method. And if you can just imagine it with different colored tennis shoes, you can get the idea of how that would look different for sure. The other thing I added on was a black vest, and I wore this out to run to the grocery store, and I felt really comfortable and cozy in it. And yeah, definitely I'm going to wear this again and again. The other thing I want to mention is the sweater I actually bought to replace a sweatshirt that I also own. They're almost the exact same shade of gray, and the only difference here is the sweater has that kind of fuzzy texture, and it's a little less baggy than the sweatshirt. So if I did not own the sweater, I would be wearing my sweatshirt. And just by making that little change, I think I have accomplished a much more polished look here than if it was with a sweatshirt. And finally, on Sunday, I had to style that silky purple polka dot skirt. This skirt to me reads very fancy, so I wanted to try and wear it in a more casual way. I pretty much pared back everything except for the skirt. So you can barely see those long black boots, and then I've got a very casual gray thermal top, casual vest, and yeah, I think it worked. I wouldn't do any other colors with this because I think the skirt really, with that pattern, is quite statement for me. And I like that the vest and the top make it appear as though I've essentially color blocked. This is again the sandwich method because I've got the dark top and the dark boots and the dark bag actually. So everything here is really letting that purple skirt shine. And here it is up close. It's a very, again, statement skirt that I'm glad I found a more casual way to wear. All right, those were all of my outfits for the week. And I just want to let you know that I'm going to make another one in this series based on this color of pink that I'm wearing today. So if you want to see that video, stick around. And again, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.